Khiem. Let's bring in Khiem Do, head of Asian multi-asset at Baring Asset Management, where he helps oversee, I believe, at last check it was $12 billion in assets or something like that.
Mark to market, it has gone down just a little bit.
Okay, let's not mark to market right now. Khiem, what do you think about banks? Are you confident about the banks here in the Asia Pacific?
In Asia Pacific, I think that we're fine because I don't think that the exposure to European European debt is that high. But I think that the problem really resides with the European banking sector.
But are we headed for a banking crisis? I mean, isn't that what Al Arian said? PIMCO's boss said just a few months ago before Fitch came out with this warning.
Oh, it could happen.
Really?
It could happen if nothing is done in Europe, because I think that Europe is about to have to refinance a massive amount of their senior debt in 2012. So if no one buys, no one allows them to roll over, we have a serious problem.
Do you know how serious that sounds? That's really scary.
Yes,
you talk about a banking crisis?
Well, I think that the thing is, if no one wants to buy the bank debt,
right?
So who's going to buy that?
Because the ECB right now, according to some
that's
people
right, ECB,
familiar.
That's right. But we hope that the ECB and EFSF actually declare that they are willing to absorb a lot more, sovereign debt or bank debt.
Right.
But so far they've done it in a very quiet way, and it's not very clear. It's not very visible.
I thought with the losses we saw at the end of September into October that this has already been priced into the markets. Is that not true?
I think that
the risks were priced in.
I think that the Greek debt situation is priced in, but I think that the Italian sovereign debt blow-up is not priced in as yet. And that's why I think that the world is kind of going through the second phase of repricing risk.
Okay, so what does that mean for years in? Are we going to see more declines going into 2012?
I think that over the next few weeks, something has to happen in terms of the policy regarding the sovereign debt issue in Europe. Otherwise, I'm afraid that, equity market indices might revisit the lows again.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, when you say policy, what does that mean? You mean an EFSF?
Yes.
1.3 trillion be announced?
Something like that.
Or confirmed, basically.
Exactly.
But what can Italy do? I mean, they have a new leadership in place, right? They still have these yields at 7%.
Right. And
people are just getting European fatigue, saying, well, we kind of expected this and not focusing so much on Europe anymore. But then you have this warning coming from Fitch, and now the whole world is a mess again.
Yes, because the Italian debt market is very large. It is the third largest It is the largest one in Europe, actually.
Right.
The debt market in Italy is larger than that of Germany. I think that is something like the third largest debt market in the world. And so you have to be very cautious about how they're going to roll over their debt, because there's more than €500 billion of debt rollover in 2012.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen, then we have a very big issue. That's why
So Italy is a big concern right now.
It is a very big concern.
But you like Asian equities and bonds at these levels. Does that mean you don't think Italy's going to need a bailout package? You don't think there's going to be contagion? Because that's a bullish sentiment, I have to say.
Yes, sure. Yeah. No, the contagion is clear. I mean, our markets are down a little bit today. It was down yesterday, down again today. But what I'm saying is that we're buying quality assets in Asia. In Asia, at least we're buying quality assets because we restructured. Our banks have restructured. So it's unlike this case of Europe where there is a shortage of liquidity. There's no shortage of liquidity in Asia. But so that's why I think that on down days, you're buying quality assets at a cheap price. So that's why we like
quality assets. All right. Khiem, thank you for that. Nice talking to you. Khiem Do of Baring Asset Management joining us this morning.